Now at 9, it's election day in Missouri and Oklahoma. We'll have the latest results. Plus, Carthage residents clean up after last night's storm damaged buildings around the square. And the Boys and Girls Club of Ottawa County break ground on a new facility in Fairland.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
This is KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. I'm Tanya Bach. It is election day in Missouri and Oklahoma. However, last night's storm damage was just across the street from the Jasper County Courthouse. Fortunately, the storm did not damage any of the polling locations, but it did damage power lines, knocking out electricity to the courthouse. Jasper County Clerk Charlie Davis says the power returned 10 minutes before polling locations opened. While that was a little nerve-wracking, he said his team was ready.
Even though sometimes there might be little glitches, maybe the poll pad might not stay charged up or whatever the case may be, we always have contingencies to make sure that when a voter comes in, they vote and they cast their ballot without a delay.
Results from races are just now starting to come in, and we will have them for you a little bit later in the show. Well, last night's storms brought in cooler temps. Chief Meteorologist Doug Hetty joins us with a first look at weather.
Yeah, we only made it up to 59 for us today, and that was a midnight high. So our afternoon high, we hung out into the 40s most of the day. Average high 66, so well below where we should be for this time of the year. And if we look outside for you right now, it's 43 in Joplin, 43 in Pittsburgh. It's going to be a cold night tonight. We're going to slide back into the upper 30s to near 40 degrees. Most of us are sitting lower 40s right now. It is kind of breezy. The winds are actually going to pick up a little bit as we go into the next couple days, but most of the clouds have eroded, so we have pretty much clear skies across the region. Not a whole bunch going on for us. It's much calmer. Temperatures tonight, they're going to drop back into the upper 30s later on tonight. So it is going to be a cold start, slow warming trend. Next few days, we'll look at that here in just a bit.
All right, thanks, Doug. Well, roofs peeled up, trees and telephone poles down, roads completely blocked, and many windows broken. Now, this is just some of the aftermath from last night's storm as it tore through much of the area, including the Carthage Square. KOAM's Fernanda Silva has more.
Literally, it was like someone just kicked you in the gut because you think you just lost the entire building. And worse than that, I thought I lost a very good friend.
Murphy's Law Restaurant and Bar's owner Frank Lyon describes these scary moments he lived inside his business as the straight line winds hit Carthage.
I get this alert on my phone, tornado warning. Almost immediately after we got hit, like all the lights went off. You could feel the building shake. You hear the stuff being blown around, everything else. I'm yelling at my wife to get downstairs.
After making sure everybody was safe, Lyon had the chance to assess some of the damage.
It's still soaked, so I'm kind of worried about this because it's now really soft. But it was like a waterfall coming down here.
The glass on his front door and his roof all went to the ground.
Everybody's exhausted because we've been trying to clean everything up all night.
Right now, I am next to the roof of one of the buildings around the area, but business owners were telling me that at this point they cannot even know if the piece of roof is from their businesses or not. A lot of the debris has nails on them, and this is one of the reasons why a lot of these streets here are closed.
It looked like a war zone. I mean, it looked like everything's in the street. I had people next door to me crying in the street, and their cars are damaged, it's wiped out.
One of the next door neighbors whose car was damaged is Eli Wills. He said he just recently finished paying it off.
It really sucks trying to start from square one and build something, and it's all just taken.
Not only his car was damaged, but also the apartment where he lives.
To be honest, with the glass shattering, the water falling, and the way the building was shaking, and I know how old it is, I didn't know what was going on. I was scared.
A feeling shared with many other residents. In Carthage, Fernanda Silva, KOAM News.
A lot of the debris was removed from the streets around the Carthage Square today, and no injuries were reported. Now, Carthage residents also shared concerns about not hearing tornado sirens. The city says the tornado warning alert was activated by the National Weather Service at the same time the electric company's computers indicated a power outage on the square. According to them, at that time, storm shelters were being opened.
I do have access to do those storm sirens on my phone. I was on my phone trying to get with R9 and let them know what was going on and all of that. And by the time I got done with all of that, the storm had passed through, and I opted not to sound them.
Fire Chief Ryan Huntley said they will evaluate what can be done better in the future. Now, Huntley also says Carthage's Public Works Department is assessing property damage today. Well, the Kansas Department of Health and Environment has issued a stream advisory for Shoal Creek from the Missouri state line to the confluence with the Spring River and south to the Oklahoma state line in Cherokee County. The KDHE says the stream advisory is a result of a raw sewage release near Joplin. You should not enter these areas of the stream or river and keep children and pets away. Well, coming up, what you need to know to make sure your eyes are safe if you plan to view the total solar eclipse next week. For just the second time ever in the U.S., a human has contracted bird flu. Texas health officials say the person had direct exposure to cows that presumably had the virus. Recent outbreak among dairy cows has spread to at least 4 states, with a 5th state reporting a possible case.
This person has a very mild case, just conjunctivitis, which is pink eye. And that's important to emphasize because it's not in the lungs. It's not pneumonia, which would make it easier to transmit from person to person.
While the risk to the general public is low, people in contact with infected animals and those living with an infected person need to be concerned. Infected cows are being isolated, their milk disposed of, and officials say there is no risk to the meat supply because they wait for the animal to recover. Well, 3 new studies suggest a rapid rise in the detection and treatment of mental health issues during pregnancy and the first year of parenthood in patients with private insurance. That's compared with just over a decade ago. A team at the University of Michigan found the rate of perinatal mood and anxiety disorders nearly doubled, and perinatal PTSD quadrupled. Researchers say the rise in diagnoses and care was not equal across different groups of people and states. Well, there is still time to prepare before next week's solar eclipse, which space enthusiasts say you definitely do not want to miss, especially since the next one won't happen again in the U.S. until 2044. Fox News' Ted Linder takes a closer look at what gear you should have if you want to safely watch the event without permanently damaging your eyes.
The countdown to one of nature's most fascinating light shows is on, as Americans gear up to watch next week's solar eclipse on April 8th. The phenomenon will take place in the afternoon, when the moon passes between the Earth and the sun, blocking out the sun's rays and casting its shadow on the Earth. But while many people will get to see a partial eclipse as it crosses through North America, only a handful of folks will experience the full darkening effects based on its path.
Only a single narrow path of people from really Texas up to Maine will be able to see this event called totality.
But no matter where your seat is for the event, doctors say you need proper protection for your eyes.
If you look at the sun directly with your unaided eye, you can damage the eye permanently and lose vision.
So what are your options?
Solar eclipse glasses are 100,000 times darker than your regular sunglasses. Regular sunglasses absolutely cannot be used.
These spectacles work by blocking invisible light rays from injuring your eyes.
These are in ultraviolet and infrared rays that can actually damage that retina.
For an indirect way to safely see the eclipse, NASA recommends making a pinhole projector.
You can just use a sheet of paper, pinhole, and have the sun behind you, and then it'll project through the hole, and then you'll have shapes of the sun on the ground as the moon traverses.
Ted Lindner, Fox News.
Well, Doug is next with a complete look at the forecast, and later a Northeast High School football standout signs to continue his career at the collegiate level.
Well, of course, much cooler day for us today after the showers, thunderstorms that we had last night across the region. We got some decent amounts of rain, which is always good because this is our rainy season. So we definitely need the rain. 1/4 of an inch fell today, but yesterday we had about 1.5 inches, puts us, it's only day 2 of the month, 1.76 inches for the month, still about 1/2 inch behind where we should be for this time of the year. Let's go outside. Here's a nice shot. This is our Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex. This is on 7th and Joplin Street. We're looking northeast through downtown. Looks pretty good. The clouds have been clearing out over the past couple hours. Temperatures are dropping though. It's 41 Monette, 44 in Anderson, Grove at 45, Pittsburgh sitting at 41, 46 is where we stand in Neodesha, and temperatures will drop back to 39 or 40 degrees by the time we head into the morning hours for us tomorrow. 43, we have a south-southwest wind at about 5 miles per hour. The winds are kind of light right now, but they're going to pick up late tonight into the morning hours for us tomorrow, and we're going to have some gusts out there at times, 25, 30, maybe even 35 throughout the daytime hours tomorrow. So very windy on your Wednesday, still at least breezy as we go into Thursday, but the winds will start to lessen as we go through the daytime hours on Thursday. All right, so by morning, our temperatures drop, actual temperature upper 30s, but with the wind, it's going to make it feel like it's 25, 26 degrees outside, so you're going to have to bundle up if you're heading out in the morning hours. As we go through tonight, clear skies now. We do have a few little clouds just to our north, so we could see a few clouds kind of skirting through. Besides that, that whole storm system that gave us all the severe weather, it's gone. It's moving across the Ohio River Valley, producing severe weather, numerous tornadoes again. Tonight, back to the east. And if you look at our upper level flow right out of Canada, and that's why our temperatures are a little bit cooler for us today and will be as we go through the next couple days. All right, tonight 39 or 40. See a few clouds kind of rotating through, so partly cloudy skies. Back near 50 by noon, a little bit warmer for us tomorrow afternoon high, as we should go about 55 by tomorrow afternoon. Very windy though. Tomorrow night, it cools down. We're back down into the mid-30s, even some areas approaching freezing. And then by Thursday afternoon, we're going to get back right around 60 degrees for afternoon high. So at least we're going to see a slow warming trend as we go through the next few days. 40 to start, 50 by noon. High temp, right around 55 during the afternoon. 58 Thursday. Let's go 62 on Friday. 70s return as we go into the weekend. We could get some thunderstorms Saturday evening into Saturday night, and the rain chances again for us next week.
All right. Well, the temperatures are going to get back up there, so
yeah, a little cool for the next few days.
Kind of weird. I had to turn my AC on 2 days ago, and then now I've got my heater going again.
That's how it works around here. It kind of stinks.
It is. All right, thanks, Doug. Well, the city of Fairland, Oklahoma broke ground on a brand new Boys and Girls Club of Ottawa County. Funding for the project came through a partnership with the Cherokee Nation. The size of the new building will serve current kids as well as kids on the waiting list and, as one official said, kids in the future.
We will be able to expand services in this current facility. Right now, in the space we're serving kids in, we're at capacity and we have a waiting list, and we really don't want that. We want enough space to serve all of the kids who need it here in Fairland, and so the opportunity to have more square footage to serve more kids is a big deal for us. And so this building, the moment we open, will alleviate that waiting list.
The new Boys and Girls Club is scheduled for its grand opening this August. Coming up, trying to prevent future disasters.
A long-awaited rule to enhance rail safety gets the green light from the Federal Railroad Administration. I'm Mike Emanuel in Washington. I'll have the details coming up.
They say there are only two sure things in life, and for most of us, one of them is happening on April 15th, and that's due day for your taxes. If you've waited until the last minute, experts say the key is to file electronically. There are also some free resources on irs.gov to help get the job done.
If you earn less than $79,000, you are able to file for free. And not only that, you get free software. There's also the Volunteer Income Tax Assistance Plan. There is the tax counseling for the elderly. And then there's Mill Tax, which I think is an incredible program for folks in the military.
The IRS is also piloting a direct file program in 12 states that, if successful, could be rolled out to the rest of the country next year. Well, next month, 23 million low-income households could lose a subsidy that provides for their internet service. The Affordable Connectivity Program is expected to run out of funding at the end of this month. According to the Federal Communications Commission, those enrolled in the program will keep getting the subsidy through April. While there is some bipartisan support to continue the subsidies, lawmakers have not passed an extension. The Department of Transportation's Federal Railroad Administration issued a new rule for the railroad industry. It's one aimed at bolstering railway safety in the wake of recent train derailments across the country. Fox News Chief Washington correspondent Mike Emanuel has the story.
A major change in the nation's rail industry. Under a new federal rule, all railroads, including freight, passenger, and commuter trains, must be manned by at least 2 crew members. The change, finalized Tuesday by the Federal Railroad Administration, comes more than a year after a derailment in East Palestine, Ohio, put a spotlight on rail safety in America.
Before this rule, railroads could run one-person crew operations without performing a rigorous risk assessment, mitigating known risks, or even notifying FRA.
The FRA aims to close this loophole and put in place a federal oversight process. Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg is calling it a win for workers, communities, and the nation's economy.
A second crew member is vital to performing safety functions like securing a train with handbrakes, handling track switches that are not remotely controlled, obtaining track authorities.
But the head of the Association of American Railroads disagrees, saying there is no evidence to back the change. Writing in a statement, quote, FRA is doubling down on an unfounded and unnecessary regulation that has no proven connection to rail safety. When asked about the lack of data, Buttigieg had this to say.
I don't know what problem the railroads could possibly hope to solve by reducing it to 1, other than to take their profits from ridiculous to stupendously ridiculous.
Secretary Buttigieg and the FRA also calling on Congress to improve the industry via the Bipartisan Railway Safety Act, currently stalled in the Senate. In Washington, Mike Emanuel, Fox News.
Well, up next, how you can view artwork made by students from various Joplin schools.
You're watching the 4 states' most watched news.
And this is KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. I'm Tanya Bach. Ballot questions that will impact your taxes, streets, and schools have been answered tonight. And in many communities, those included tax proposals. And we begin our coverage with the Joplin proposition to extend an existing 0.3% sales tax for 12 years. Now, this would fund capital improvements such as street projects. That proposal passes by a vote of 2,141 to 1,391. Coral Junction voters were asked to extend an existing tax to fund an $18.5 million school bond. That proposal is currently passing, though numbers are not yet final. And a school bond was also on the ballot in Rich Hill. It called for a tax hike. Voters said yes to that idea. A sales tax proposal in Barton County was to provide central dispatching for various emergency services such as fire and ambulances, and voters approved that plan. Ballots in Nevada, Missouri included a $15 million revenue bond proposal for the waterworks and sewer system. Voters apparently liked that idea, and the vote was 517 to 243. Voters in Fidelity, Missouri accepted a plan to impose a half-cent sales tax for economic development. And a proposal to impose a local use tax in Nevada passed. One more use tax on the ballots today, this one in Knoll, Missouri. Voters there approved that proposal. Now, Knoll voters also considered a 3% tax on the sale of recreational marijuana. Voters said yes to that idea by a wide margin. And voters in Asbury accepted an identical marijuana tax proposal for their community. In addition to the various tax questions, voters in a number of Southwest Missouri and Northeast Oklahoma communities elected members to various school boards and city and county positions. You're going to find the latest numbers from many of those races, KOAMnewsnow.com. Well, the Joplin City Council today met to discuss the possibility of a fiber optic network. The council tonight approved the bill on first reading. Now, if approved on second and third readings at a later meeting, it would give a green light to the company Allo Missouri LLC to construct the fiber optic network. That network would help provide high-quality, high-speed internet access to Joplin residents and businesses.
We do an extensive market analysis. We look at the demographics and the cost to build. So in the case of Joplin, Allo will be making a multi-tens of millions of dollars investment in the community. But it's going to be just a great market for us because we feel that the residents and businesses are really going to like our services.
Under the agreement, the network's facilities would be owned and operated by Allo, but located within the city. Well, Joplin police searched for a suspect in a shooting last night on Main Street. It happened around 8:15 p.m. at 1817 South Main. Officers responded to a call and found a man with a gunshot wound in the abdomen. He was rushed to the hospital, and his current condition is unknown. Shortly after that, police surrounded a home on the 1500 block of South Wall in the search for a suspect. Authorities say they spotted the suspect in the backyard initially, but by the time they entered the home, the suspect was gone. A 74-year-old Frontenac man is killed after his SUV hits a pickup truck who was backing out of a private drive on Kansas Highway 7. It happened yesterday just before 4 p.m. about 9 miles south of Girard. Troopers say Terry Harper was heading south in his SUV when the 1989 GMC truck failed to yield, forcing Harper to swerve, overcorrect, and overturn. Harper died at the scene. The driver of the truck was not injured. Well, a bit later, what a new report shows about who may be behind the mysterious condition known as Havana syndrome.
Well, of course, a much cooler day for us today. Temperatures during the afternoon could only really make it into the mid to upper 40s across the region, near 50 when we got a little bit of sunshine in here, but it looks okay right now. It's just chilly. Nice shot of our Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex tower cam, downtown Joplin. Temperatures across the board low to mid 40s, so it is chilly. We'll drop back upper 30s later on tonight. Let's go outside. Here's 7th and Rangeline sitting at 43. A south wind is light at about 5 miles per hour, but these winds, see how they're switching to the northwest? They're going to pick up late tonight into the daytime hours tomorrow. So we're going to have gusts 25, 30, upwards of 35 at times. Still stays at least breezy on Thursday, and then the winds calm down by the time we get into Thursday evening. But that means by morning, wind chill factors, the way it's going to feel about 25, 26 degrees, so it is going to be chilly across the area. All the clouds we had earlier have worked out of here. We're going to see a few more that try to rotate in as we go through the next couple hours. All the severe weather now is out across the Ohio River Valley, heading away from us, and we have our flow right out of Canada, so it kind of ushers in that cooler air on top of us. All right, let's work through time. Tonight, 39 or 40 for an overnight low. As we go through the morning hours, we'll have partly cloudy skies, especially on the Missouri side. Temps near 50, and I think most of us get to about 55 for a high. Tomorrow night, we drop back mid-30s, so it is going to be chilly. And then as we go into Thursday, a little bit better as we approach 60 for highs. Should get into lower 60s once you get into our western counties. All right, day planner for your Wednesday. 40 to start, 50 by noon, 54 by 4, high temp of 55. But again, it's going to be on the windy side across the region. Let's go down the road. Let's go into the weekend. Here's our next storm system. So Saturday in general looks fine, but thunderstorms start to push in Saturday evening. The way this system's coming out, it's not going to have a ton of dynamics, but we should get some thunderstorms. They're not looking severe at this point in time. Showers, thunderstorms roll through. Most of Sunday looks good. As we go into Monday, of course, Monday is eclipse day. We're kind of in between storm systems. And if we look at about 1:30 during the eclipse, right now it looks like we'll have a lot of clouds, and all of totality also could have a lot of clouds. So hopefully this will clear up a little bit as we go through the next few days. 55 for you tomorrow. Let's go 58 on Thursday, 62 on Friday, 71 on Saturday, those evening thunderstorms. Sunday looks good, and then we got to watch those clouds on Monday.
All right, but next couple of days still a little bit chilly.
Yeah, it is going to be cool.
All right, get used to it.
Yep.
All right, thanks, Doug. Well, coming up in sports, 24 local high school basketball players receive all-state honors in Kansas. Plus, a former Carthage Tiger signs to play pro football in Canada. John Dales has those stories and more up next.
Two of the top student athletes at Northeast High School have already committed to the University of St. Mary, and this morning a third Viking standout joins them. Tayshawn Gaynor signs his letter of intent at Northeast to play football at University of St. Mary. The Viking senior joins his teammates Dawson Troth and Braden Young in committing to the Spires. Gaynor is an honorable mention all-conference running back his senior year. He says this moment has been a long time coming.
I kind of liked the whole thing when I visited it, and the football coaches were real nice. They were real good. The plays were a little bit simpler and all that, and I have my two best friends going there too, so I kind of wanted to go somewhere I knew someone. It was pretty cool. I mean, I've been wanting to play college football since I was little. I always said I was going to do it, and today was the day I got to do it.
The Kansas Basketball Coaches Association releases its 2023-24 high school all-state teams today. 24 athletes from Southeast Kansas are represented, 14 boys and 10 girls. Lily Brown from Colgan and Keegan Yarrick from Fort Scott are the two girls from our area that make first teams all-state. Erie's Ethan Dillinger and Pittsburgh's Mason English are two boys that are first team all-state. To see the full list of the other 20 local all-state basketball players, go to koamnewsnow.com/sports. Elsewhere to college football, former Carthage High School wide receiver Arkel Smith, who went on to play college football for Central Missouri, he signs with the Edmonton Elks of the Canadian Football League today. Smith was a two-time All-State wide receiver at Carthage with the Tigers. At UCM, he was an AP first-team All-American at the Division II level this past season. The CFL season begins in June. It ends with the Grey Cup in November. Pitt State baseball is coming off two consecutive road losses. Now, before hitting the road again to face the number 2 team in the country, the Gorillas have a game at home tonight. And the 24th ranked Gorillas win in the bottom of the 11th on a walk-off double from Nixon Brannon. That snaps the 2-game losing skid. DSU goes on the road to the number 2 team in the nation. That's Central Missouri this weekend. In Webb City baseball, on the road this afternoon, a district championship rematch against McDonald County. First inning is where we pick it up. Webb City's Drew Vonderhaar gets it rolling as he hits this to center field. Miscommunication by the outfielders lets that ball drop. Sean Hunt comes in to score. Cardinals up 1. Second inning, things really open up for Webb City. Cohen Appler grounds it into left field. Ball gets bobbled on the throw home, and Hunter Scholl slides in safely. We're still in that same inning, adding insult to injury. Christian Brock crushes this ball to left field. That's out of here, gone for a no-doubt 3-run homer. The Cardinals score 7 runs in the second inning. Webb City very solid defensively as well in the 5th. Luke Beverlin gets a swinging strikeout to end this game early. Cardinals finish it off in just 5 innings. 13-0 the final score. Webb City returns home Thursday to face Neosho. That's a look at sports. We'll be back after this.
There is new evidence Russia may be behind a mysterious traumatic brain condition affecting hundreds of Americans serving abroad. Fox News Chief National Security Correspondent Jennifer Griffin has an update on the possible origin of what is known as Havana syndrome.
Essentially, this is an act of war.
In an explosive new report, 60 Minutes, The Insider, and Der Spiegel found new evidence that hundreds of U.S. government employees complaining of sudden neurological symptoms known as Havana syndrome may have been attacked by Russia with a weapon using directed energy.
It was like a high-pitched metallic drilling noise, and it knocked me forward. I immediately felt pressure, and pain started coursing from inside my right ear, down my jaw, down my neck, and into my chest.
One of the things I started to notice was the caliber of our officer that was being impacted. There was some angle where they had worked against Russia, focused on Russia, and done extremely well.
Pull over! This car chase near Key West 4 years ago provided key evidence, handwritten notes of bank accounts, a device that can erase the car's computer data, and the driver's Russian passport. Receipts link the suspected attackers to a Russian military intelligence hit squad, GRU Unit 29155.
Certain Russians were in the exact vicinity of attacks in particular countries.
Victims like Adam, who uses an alias and was thought to be patient zero after experiencing crippling auditory sensation that left him unable to walk or move while working undercover in Havana in 2016, responded with relief.
They pulled out receipts from the GRU 29155 group, which explicitly outlines that these are weapons systems and a weapons program.
For years, he and other victims have felt gaslit by their former agency employers.
The intelligence community's broad assessment that a foreign adversary is unlikely to be responsible for these incidents.
The Pentagon has now confirmed a senior U.S. Defense Department official sought medical treatment for symptoms of Havana syndrome at NATO's Vilnius summit last summer. At the Pentagon, Jennifer Griffin, Fox News.
Well, coming up, we'll take a look back at last night's iHeart Music Radio Awards to see who took home prizes. The iHeart Radio Music Awards aired last night, celebrating the most played music on iHeart radio stations and the iHeart app. Now, awards were handed out along with special honors, and the night was full of musical performances. Here's Fox's Ashley Dvorkin with a recap.
Trophies, top tunes, and tributes. Here are highlights from the 2024 iHeartRadio Music Awards. Beyoncé received the Innovator Award, presented to her by Stevie Wonder. Her new album, Cowboy Carter, is currently breaking records.
I want to dedicate this award to all the innovators who have dedicated their lives and their art to creating shifts.
Meryl Streep joined the party to celebrate Icon Award recipient Cher. Jennifer Hudson performed an If I Can Turn Back Time tribute. Then Cher joined her for a Believe duet before accepting her Icon trophy.
If you have a dream and you stick with it, you will have a wonderful life and it probably will come true.
Ludacris ran the show and took the stage with a medley of hits. The star-packed lineup also included Landmark Award recipients Green Day and TLC, Justin Timberlake and Tate McRae. Plus, Best New Artist for Pop and Country, Jelly Roll, and Country Music Song of the Year winner Lainey Wilson with their duet, Save Me.
Kill Bill, SZA.
Among other wins presented on the telecast, SZA took Song of the Year for Kill Bill and won R&B Song of the Year, R&B Album of the Year, and R&B Artist of the Year. Ice Spice received Best New Hip Hop Artist. Fall Out Boy is the Alternative Artist of the Year. Taylor Swift accepted Artist of the Year via video message.
I am so blown away and so thankful, and I just can't wait to keep having fun with you guys.
Swift also won Pop Artist and Tour of the Year. She thanked fans for this era of success and shared her excitement for new music on the way. In Hollywood, Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
Well, that's our time for tonight. Thanks for joining us. We're going to leave you with video of Rico the porcupine. Oh, he's so cute, enjoying some treats. He loves his corn. Have a great night and an even better tomorrow.